Hey there! Welcome to Lab Partner 101, your study buddy for making science and math simple. I'll walk you through tough concepts step by step so you never feel lost. Let's dive in. You're alive. So is a bacterium. So is a blue whale. But what is life exactly? In this episode, we'll break down the most fundamental ideas in biology, from the structure of a single cell to the systems that organize every living thing on Earth. You'll learn what all living organisms have in common, how cells function, and how biology scales from microscopic to planetary. If you're working through biology for school, or just want to understand the logic behind life itself, you're in the right place. Feel free to subscribe if you want clear visual explanations every week. Biology is the science of life. But that's not as simple as it sounds. It's the study of living things, how they're structured, how they function, how they interact with one another, and how they change over time. From single-celled organisms floating in a drop of water to the interlocking ecosystems of an entire rainforest, biology seeks to understand life at every scale. The word itself comes from Greek, bios meaning life, and logos meaning reason or study. So biology is the logical study of living things. Modern biology spans an enormous range of topics. It includes molecular biology, which looks at the chemistry of life, like DNA, proteins, and enzymes. It includes genetics, which studies heredity and variation. It includes evolution, which helps explain the diversity of species, and ecology, which focuses on how organisms relate to each other and to their environment. Every branch is connected by a central question: what does it mean to be alive, and how do living systems work? Biology helps us diagnose diseases, develop vaccines, track environmental changes, and even search for life on other planets. To study life, we need to know what counts as living. There's no single checklist, but biologists generally agree on a set of traits that define all known life. First, all living things are made of cells, the smallest unit that performs the functions of life. Some organisms are unicellular, like bacteria and certain algae. Others, like plants and animals, are multicellular, made of trillions of specialized cells working together. Second, living things require energy. They take in energy from their surroundings, through sunlight, food, or chemicals, and use it to grow, repair damage, and maintain order. Third, living things respond to their environment. A plant will grow toward light. An animal may flee danger. Even single-celled organisms can detect changes in temperature, acidity, or nutrients and adjust their behavior. Another key feature is growth and development. All organisms increase in size or complexity over time, guided by instructions encoded in their DNA, the molecule that stores genetic information. Reproduction is also essential. Some organisms reproduce sexually, combining genetic material from two parents. Others reproduce asexually, creating clones of themselves. Either way, life makes more life. And perhaps most profoundly, all living things evolve. Over generations, populations change in response to their environment through the process of natural selection. These shared characteristics, cells, energy use, responsiveness, growth, reproduction, heredity, and evolution, form the foundation of how biologists define life. No matter how complex an organism is, it begins with cells. A cell is a self-contained unit of life, capable of growing, reproducing, and maintaining internal balance. Every living organism is either a single cell or made up of many cells. There are two broad types of cells: prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Prokaryotic cells, like those in bacteria, are smaller and simpler. They have no nucleus. Their DNA floats freely in the cytoplasm, and their internal structure is relatively minimal. Eukaryotic cells, found in plants, animals, fungi, and protists, are larger and more complex. They contain organelles, specialized compartments that carry out specific tasks. The nucleus holds the DNA. The mitochondria generate energy. The endoplasmic reticulum assembles proteins and lipids. Ribosomes build proteins. The Golgi apparatus packages and ships molecules. In plant cells, chloroplasts capture sunlight and turn it into sugar through photosynthesis. The cell membrane acts as a selective barrier, controlling what enters and exits. Inside, the cell maintains a stable environment, called homeostasis, despite changes outside. Understanding cells is key to understanding all of biology. They are not just the building blocks of life, they are life at its most fundamental level. Life is organized, and that organization follows a consistent pattern. In multicellular organisms, similar cells form tissues. Tissues combine to make organs. Organs work together in organ systems, and all those systems together make up the organism itself. For example, muscle cells form muscle tissue. Muscle tissue contributes to organs like the heart. The heart is part of the circulatory system, and that system works alongside others, like the respiratory and nervous systems, to keep the organism alive. But biology doesn't stop at the individual. Groups of the same organism form populations. Different populations that interact make up communities. Communities, along with their non-living environment, like water, soil, and climate, form ecosystems. And all Earth's ecosystems together create the biosphere, the zone of life on our planet. This structure, from cell to system to biosphere, allows us to study life from the tiniest scale to the planetary level. There are some ideas about life that show up again and again, but don't quite hold up. One of the most common is the belief that movement defines life. But many living things don't move at all, or move only internally. A tree, for example, doesn't walk or run, but it grows, responds, and reproduces. Another is the assumption that viruses are alive. They contain genetic material and can evolve. But they don't metabolize, and they can't reproduce without a host cell. Whether viruses count as living is still debated. Some also believe that humans are somehow separate from nature. But biologically, we are subject to the same rules. Built from cells, guided by DNA, dependent on energy, and shaped by evolution. Biology isn't just a school subject. It's a blueprint for solving real problems. Studying cells helps us understand diseases like cancer, how uncontrolled growth happens, and how to stop it. Genetics helps us trace inherited conditions, develop personalized medicine, and improve agriculture. In the last few decades, tools like CRISPR have allowed scientists to edit genes, potentially correcting mutations that cause disease. This falls under the rapidly growing field of biotechnology, which uses living systems to develop new technologies and treatments. Biology also shapes public health. It's how we understand viruses, track outbreaks, and design vaccines. It's how we manage ecosystems, protect endangered species, and respond to climate change. Even fields like synthetic biology are emerging, where we design new biological systems from scratch, using the rules of life as code. Biology touches nearly everything, from the food we eat to the air we breathe to the future of medicine. If this helped you see biology in a new light, give it a like or drop your questions in the comments. I read everyone. Next time, we'll zoom in on the cell itself, looking more closely at the organelles, the membrane, and how all the parts work together to keep life running. Life might seem chaotic, but it's built on a few powerful ideas: structure, energy, information, and evolution. Biology shows us how those ideas work, at every level, from molecules to ecosystems. It explains how we're connected to every other organism on Earth, and why that connection matters. We've only covered the basics. The real detail lives in the next layers: cells, genes, systems, interactions. That's where we're headed next.